Got my little robot ready to go. Hey guys! Welcome to Confab with Abs. I'm really excited for this video today because I'm going to go through a haul of some of my favorite books this year. I figured since I just started I should probably let you know where I've been. So let's get going. First we have American Gods by Neil Gaiman. So I've been wanting to read this one for quite a while because I'm a huge fan of Neil Gaiman, so I was really glad that I could get around to it. In this book you follow Shadow as he takes a job from a guy named Mr. Wednesday and travels all over the US meeting lots of interesting characters. One of the biggest things behind this book is the idea of what happens to the gods from the various cultures that immigrate into America and kind of become American. If they don't revere and worship their gods as much or differently than they used to, what happens to those gods? How do they change? How do they become part of this new America as well? As the levels of fantasy and reality that Neil Gaiman is known for, the premise is really different and really intriguing, but it takes a little getting used to, but once you do, the characters are super fascinating and it's really cool to try to figure out who everyone is. I actually also have a Nazi Boys, which is kind of a sequel. A side character in this book becomes the main character in that book, so I'm going to be reading that one in the next few months. Next, there's Lockwood & Co. The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. In this book they have the problem. So now in this book when people die, they often become attached to like a trinket of theirs, and then their ghost comes out at night and kind of attacks people. If a ghost touches you, you become ghost touched and that can kill you. So to solve this problem, whatever the ghost is attached to, you have to seal it with a silver seal. And the only people that can see ghosts are some kids. Not even all kids, but some have the talent for it, and so they become agents to fight these ghosts. And so when the agents grow up and they become adults and they can no longer see ghosts, then they become supervisors for the other kids who can see and fight the ghosts. And so we're following Lucy, who just lost her job and finds a job in London with Anthony Lockwood, hence the Lockwood & Company, and you get to see some of their escapades as they fight ghosts and try to keep their agency going. It's a really fun book, so definitely take a look at that one. Next, we have All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakurazaka. This is the book that inspired Edge of Tomorrow. I will say that the main character in this book is a teenage Japanese boy, not a Tom Cruise character. His name is Kaiji Kiriya, and we follow him as he, there are some very similar escapades as in the film, but the ending and some of his interactions with the American famous Rita, his relationship with her is obviously different because teenage boy, Tom Cruise, it's gonna be different, but it's definitely a really fun read. The ending's a bit different, so look out for that. Don't expect the movie. This is not a movie. Go and read it. Next, I have The Red Rising. I don't actually have it with me, or The Golden Sun. I've read them both, but I don't have them with me because I borrowed them from a friend who insisted that I read them. They're really, really fun books. If you like Hunger Games or that kind of dystopian caste system kind of thing, it definitely has that. The casts are by color, and so Red Rising, red is the lowest caste, they're the workers, and so you get to see those interactions between colors, especially as, well, the title kind of tells it. We see a red rise a little bit and see how those interactions happen with the upper colors and what intrigue and drama happens because of that. It's a really fun read. The next book comes out in like 5 or 6 months. I'm excited to read it. You should read those 2 books so you can be ready for it too. Next is the Skewbuggery Pleasant series. This is the 3rd book. There are about 5 or 6 so far. I've only read 3, but they're really, really fun, so I wanted to tell you about them. In them you follow a 13-year-old girl, Stephanie Edgley, as she kind of joins this magical, mystical underworld. Her uncle dies at his will reading. She receives his mansion, and she also meets this character, Skewbuggery Pleasant. She soon discovers that he's a skeleton detective, and she joins him on his journey to stop the forces of evil and save the world. Really exciting stuff. A really fun read. Next, as my token manga, or manga, however you say it, I have Tsubasa. This is book number 8. I think there are 20-something of them, so I haven't read nearly all of them yet. But in this book you follow Suoryan and Princess Sakura. So what's happening is Suoryan is helping Princess Sakura regain her memories. So she's lost them and they are dispersed among like hundreds of different worlds and different universes, and so he has to make a deal with a witch to be able to travel to those different worlds with her and a couple other characters to regain her memories. You get to see a bunch of different worlds where there are some like good guys and bad guys, and you never know what to expect because it's a completely different universe. You actually get to see some of the people they knew back home in these different worlds as different people who don't know them but who have very similar attributes, which is a really, really fun feature. Last, I have Moriarty. So Moriarty is actually the 2nd book in a Sherlock Holmes series by Anthony Horowitz. It was given to me as a gift, so I actually read it as a standalone book and it held up really well. I don't really know what the first one's about, but this one is really fun. So in this one you follow a character named Frederick Chase, who is a New York detective, and he goes to Switzerland to investigate the famous disappearance of Moriarty and Sherlock. And so when he's there, he meets a detective from London. So he joins this detective, they go back to London, and there's a huge problem because there's a lot of villains trying to take Moriarty's place, so he has to help them in this epic mystery journey adventure. It's really, really exciting, and I mean, it's called Moriarty, so expect a couple twists and turns. It's a really good time. So thanks for joining me for my first haul video. I'm glad that I could let you know about some of the books I've read this year. Please subscribe below. I'm going to post a video pretty soon of what I'm going to read in August, and I'd love to hear what you guys are reading, so definitely let me know. I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks for coming. See you next time.